Yeah, it's not smart to say because all the evidence points to the idea that it did happen.
Okay, this is where you are stuck in your little box of you're trying to explain the whole world without a creator.
A creator has nothing to do with this. A creator could have used evolution, and millions of Christians think that he did, Kent.
No,
so you're basically lying when you say that.
They need to tune into my program.
That's right. Millions of evolutionists, I'm sure, disagree with you on many forms of evolution. So what does that matter? That's ridiculous. Are you arguing here ad populum?
No, I'm saying that when Kent says that it denies the existence of a creator, he's being either disingenuous or he's ignorant of the fact that there are millions of people that believe otherwise.
Would you agree that it denies the activity of a rational creator?
No.
It doesn't?
Does it deny the creator of the Bible as being the one who did it?
Darwinian theory does.
Yeah, okay.
The theory of evolution in terms of common descent does not.
Okay.
If you read the Bible, I think you'll disagree with what you just said.
No, I'm talking about the idea of a creator.
Yeah, but the biblical God that says he did it in 6 days, 6,000 years ago, that is certainly different. So,
okay, in terms, yes, a literal interpretation of Genesis is incompatible with evolutionary theory.
Right.
In my perspective, at least, there are some that try to, apologize for that, which I don't.
Yeah, Hugh Ross.
Really worth anything. I think it's retarded. But
all right, we got a lot of folks get on the program, so let's close it up for Jared. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask one or two more things here. One was going to go back to what you were saying earlier about how it's a useless theory.
Yeah.
The question was
how Philip Skell was saying that. He was reading. You have to make that very clear, Dr. Hovind. You are reading an article from a secular journal.
Right. He
said
keep
that in mind.
Of no value.
That's fine, but Kent says it all the time anyway.
Okay, but you're talking about.
I sincerely believe it. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So here's the question: if it were true, if evolution were true, would you want to know?
Oh, yeah, I want to know truth, yeah. I want to know anything that's true.
But would you still go around saying it's a useless theory if you were convinced that it were true?
I'm not convinced that it's true, which is why I'm not saying that. I've studied it pretty carefully, and I see no evidence for it.
Philip Skell says it's true. He says he doesn't have any guidance for scientific processes.
That's fine. This is not answering the question.
I'm just giving you an example. This guy thinks it's true. He still says that it's not giving us any guiding force.
His point has nothing to do with my question.
Okay. One more time, real quick on the question.
What would you say if it were true? Would you still say it's a useless theory? Would you still use that rhetoric?
That's a rhetorical question, I guess is the right way to say it. If evolution is true, then...
If you were convinced that it were true, would you still go around saying it's a useless theory?
Well, I don't know that my being convinced of something makes it true or not, or, you being convinced of evolution certainly doesn't make it true. People are convinced
what I'm basically getting at here is whenever you say that it's a useless theory, you're trying to use that as a rhetorical device against it. But it really has nothing to do with it.
Okay, I have said many times, I don't think there's any evidence for evolution at all. We see dogs produce dogs, end of story. Now, even if it was true that we all evolved from a rock 4.6 billion years ago, of what value is that theory to anything? That's not why we have silicones. It's not why we have space shuttles. It's not why we have medicine.
It may not have value for those things, but don't you think that it has a certain intrinsic value for, human spirit to know where we came from?
Well, how would you know you had a spirit then? I mean, if we evolved from a rock...
I'm using the term lightly.
Sure, okay.
Come on.
Sure, okay.
You know what I mean? You see what I'm trying to say?
I do see what you're saying. I don't see any evidence for evolution, nor do I see any value for evolution.
Fine.
I see nothing but
okay,
negative.
so you're saying that even if it were true, you wouldn't find any value in knowing that it were true? You just said a minute ago that you wanted to know the truth.
Oh, yeah. If it were true, I would want to know that, which is precisely why I've spent 30-some years studying this topic.
Okay, then why go around saying it's a useless theory?
Because it's a useless theory. I'm teaching truth. This is called
Truth
Radio.
That is not useless. Something that actually gives us, knowledge of our origins is not useless. It may be useless to building space shuttles, but it's not useless.
Well, okay. What use does it have? Would you say it'd be good for telling stories or something? That's the use.
Yeah.
Okay.
For instance, what's the use of knowing anything about history at all?
Well, I would say all the people sitting around the drums in Africa, teaching their kids stories about how they evolved from the toad or something, the frog people or whatever. They have stories they're telling. Is that it's a useful?
I guess
it gives the kid a sense of how he understands.
Dr. Hovind, when you and Philip Skell say that it has no guiding force and you say it's useless, it's talking more in the realms of scientific progress. It's useless there. It's not going to help us do anything better
It's done
scientifically.
nothing for the advancement of science.
It might make for a good movie. You know, you got some movie that's out and the trailer says evolve or die, and that might be a good movie, so it's useful in that. But as far as scientific progression, it's not going to be too beneficial.
Right. I got a lot more instant messages I got to get to, Jared. Let's take this up tomorrow,
Okay.
if that's sufficient. Okay, I got 3 more days. All right, thanks a lot.